Hello, everyone. This is the most magnificent bird, Beak, speaking to you today. And in today's video, I'm back at it with another character review. And this character review will be on Gold Mythic, Eva, and Ghost, the latest addition to the Lone Wolves Allegiance. And I gotta say, right off the bat, before we get started, just look how cute Ghost is. He's absolutely adorable. Oh man, that alone, I think that would be one of the major selling points of this character, but no. Besides Ghost looking so dang adorable, this tune is actually going to be very good, I feel like, in my opinion. And yeah, before we get started, I hope all of you are doing good and staying safe out there. I'm doing alright, and I'm staying safe for the most part. And man, in my area, we haven't had no rain in like well over a week. And it's, we got a really bad drought, which is really rare for my area. But anyway, yeah, enough of me wasting time. And let's go ahead and jump into this character review, shall we? Eva and Ghost, Lone Wolves. Her trait, or their trait, is the strong trait. Their role is control, and their allegiance is a member of the Lone Wolves. Now let's take a look at their stats. Their attack stat is 22,959. The defense is 16,646, and HP, their HP is 17,793. Now let's take a look at the Adrenaline Rush. Gnarly Bite. The recharge rate is 55 AP, so that's fast, pretty fast. Faster than most gold mythics. Make a critical attack against an enemy for 500% damage. One other enemy gets 15% of this fighter's attack stat as bleed damage for 3 turns, and 100% heal reduction for the rest of combat. So I like the fact that, she's making a critical attack, or I should say she or they, however you want to categorize this character. But the point is, they are making a critical attack to an enemy for 500% damage. That's actually a really good amount of damage. Plus, one other enemy will get 15% of their attack stat as bleed damage for 3 turns. And depending on how high that attack stat is, that can definitely be a lot of bleed. No lie. Depending on how high that attack stat is, 15% might not sound like a whole lot, but again, depending on how high that attack stat is, that can definitely be a lot of bleed damage for 3 turns, and that could more than likely finish that character off. Plus, that enemy will be getting 100% heal reduction for the rest of combat. So if that one enemy gets the 15%, the 15% attack stat, as bleed damage, then they're going to get the heal reduction. That's pretty much going to be game over for that enemy. So this Adrenaline Rush is pretty straightforward, straight to the point. Nothing too complicated about it. I like it. I really like it a lot. Now let's take a look at the signature move, Hidden Wolves. The initial cooldown is 1 turn. Number of cooldowns, 2 turns for the cooldown, and number of uses unlimited. 3 random Lone Wolves Allegiance teammates get elusive for 2 turns, make 2 attacks against a line of enemies for 300% damage. 600% total. Okay, so this one here, it's helping, obviously this signature move is helping Lone Wolf's Allegiance teammates, as 3 random Lone Wolf's Allegiance teammates would get elusive for 3 turns. No, excuse me, they would only get that for 2 turns, but still, getting elusive in certain situations can be really nice. Like, for example, on my team, Philip, Blake, Forsaken Michonne, and Eva and Ghost would get that elusive, just as an example. Or maybe if you have, Philip, Blake, Michonne, Wanderer, Morgan, and Eva and Ghost, that would be a little bit more, that would be harder to determine where that elusive would go. But for me, Philip, Blake, Michonne, Forsaken Michonne, and Eva and Ghost would, without a doubt, get that elusive, because they would be the only Lone Wolves teammates on that particular team. So I feel like that elusive is pretty nice. Plus, they are making 2 attacks against a line of enemies for 300% damage, so 600% total. That's a really nice amount of damage as well. I honestly do. Which one do I like better, the Adrenaline Rush or Signature Move? I don't know. I think they're both pretty good. Right now, I'm not sure which one I like better. I think they're both very good, in my opinion. Now, let's take a look at their mythic abilities. Precision. Enemy resistance are 40% lower against this fighter. Now, before I talk about, I won't really go too much into precision. I was thinking at first, why isn't Eva and Ghost a damage dealing character? But if you notice their special skill, that, their control, that's a pretty good reason as to why they're control tune and not a damage dealer, even though you could classify them as a damage dealer. But I think for this certain character, I think it fits them being a control tune. But precision, yes, absolutely level it up. Now, permadate, I don't know. Whatever, okay. At the start of each wave, 100% chance this fighter gets focus and camouflage for the rest of combat. Okay, so I guess if you aren't using Eva and Ghost in, like, the Philip Blake team, for example, and you don't have that damage counter reduction, I guess that camouflage would be good in that instance. And I'm trying to remember, I think the reduction counter damage only lasts for 3 turns, if I'm thinking correctly. So at the start of each wave, she will get, they will get 100% chance to get focus and camouflage. If you don't have that damage counter reduction that Philip Blake gives out, if you don't have her in that team, I guess camouflage would be a pretty good substitute for that. So thinking about it, that's actually not a bad one. And plus focus, you can bypass human shields, and there are, some human shield tunes aren't annoying, but there are some that are very annoying. And to have that focus, it's not really going to hurt to have it, you know what I mean? So I do like that second mythic ability, so I think I would go ahead and level that one up. Deadly Companion. When attacking, make a second attack against the same target with 150% attack. Okay, so pretty straightforward, pretty simple to the point. She's basically, or they, however you want to, if you want to call the character she or they, because they're both working together, but they are just going to get more attack. And that's a good thing, so I think I would go ahead and level that one up. Deadly Companion, because I think that's a really nice one to have, for sure. Exploited Weakness. When attacking, increase damage by 10% for every negative status effect on the enemy team, okay, I think this one is going to be really good. And, you know, I think the specialist skill is going to help out with exploited weakness here in a minute, which we will get to. I would go ahead and level that one up because, like it says, it increases damage by 10% for every negative status effect. You know, that would be bleed, burn, minus defense, infection, impair, stun, daze. You know, I could go on and on and on. You know, everything negative on the enemy, the attack is only going to get higher by 10%, which is going to be really nice. Now, let's take a look at this specialist skill. Normalizer. When this fighter performs a critical hit, they apply normalize for 1 turn to that target. Okay, so whenever they perform a critical hit, they will only apply normalize for 1 turn. That doesn't sound too great for only 1 turn, but I think this is more of a positive because potentially, like say if there's a certain target giving you problems, you could hit that target over and over and over with Eva and Ghost, and pretty much it would be almost like they're normalized for the whole fight, pretty much. Even if you can't kill them within the first couple turns, like, I don't know, Peacekeeper or Vengeance Jesus or the Vengeance Princess, for example, you might not be able to take them out in the first couple of turns, but you can normalize them. Now, Princess and Jesus would be a little bit more easier to normalize, without a doubt. But, however, you might not be able to take them out the first couple of turns. And okay, guys, I'm back. I'm not sure exactly what happened. This recording app decided to stop recording, but nonetheless, we are back, and here we are talking about Eva and Ghost Specialist Skill Normalizer. So pretty much the short version, if you're coming up against Peacekeeper, Vengeance Jesus, the Vengeance Princess, even though the normalize is only for 1 turn, you can essentially normalize them seemingly forever if you hit a critical hit. So, you know, that's going to be really good, and that's definitely the reason right there. They are a controlled tune character instead of a damage dealer, and I like that very much. So, I don't know. I'm thinking about pulling for Eva and Ghost. I'm seriously thinking about it. I'm seriously thinking about it a little bit more than I was for Who They Wonder. So, that might be coming up soon. That pull video, maybe, if I think about doing it, which I'm considering. I'm considering doing that. But yeah, I really like the normalizer. You can pretty much normalize a tune for days. That's the short version of it, and it's a really good and unique specialist skill. I think the only other tune that has normalizer is Yuletide Ezekiel, I believe. Maybe someone else, I'm not really sure. I think it might just be only Eva and Ghost and Yuletide Ezekiel that have this specialist skill. Now, let's go over the weapon. Ghost Savage Fangs, 40% attack, a huge bonus to AP when attacking, attack up versus debilitating. When attacking an enemy with a debilitating effect, gain 50% attack. Improved critical expert, turns fighter's base crit chance to 100%. This fighter gets 20% crit damage. So we're quickly gonna go over this. The 40% attack, that's very good. So honestly, I would probably recommend leveling that one up all the way. Try to get 55% attack, because honestly, I don't know what else you could do with this weapon. So 55% attack I believe is the way to go, in my personal opinion. The huge bonus to AP when attacking, that's nice. And then attack up versus debilitating. They, when they're attacking an enemy with a debilitating effect, they will gain 50% attack, which is pretty nice, not gonna lie. Although, I mean, if you really want to use something else, maybe you could, but for the 4th slot, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't swap out something else, you know, another weapon, because of that 4th slot alone. Because of the improved critical expert, you know, the fighter's base crit chance to 100%, and this fighter gets 20% crit damage, which is very good. Like, I don't even know why you would want to swap something else, you know, swap another weapon. I mean, I don't know, maybe you want to try something else for like one time, like a one-time thing, I don't know. But honestly, just based off that 4th slot alone, that's really going to help the normalizer just proc off. So, this is pretty much a near perfect weapon. The 3rd specialist, the 3rd slot, I should say, the 3rd slot, right now, unless I'm actually using the character, I'm not seeing anything special with it. But as I'm using the character, that might be a different story. But right now, I absolutely think the weapon is near perfect, 55% attack, and honestly, I wouldn't do anything else with the weapon, to be perfectly honest with you. Now, what do I think of the character? I love the artwork, and Ghost, Baby Ghost, well, he's a little bit more than a baby. He's he's pretty much like a puppy at this point, and he's so dang adorable, and that, I believe, is one of the major selling points of this character. And then that normalizer is also another selling point of this character. And I just really love the artwork, honestly. I think it's really good. And let me know, what do you think of Gold, Mythic, Eva, and Ghost? Will you be pulling for them? And if you have already pulled for them, what do you think of them so far? Is it worth it to pull for both Eva and Ghost? And whatever else you think about this character, let me know down in the comments. And real quick, oh boy, this is off topic, but I started a New Game Plus playthrough of Resident Evil 4 Remake on professional difficulty. Oh man. You know, honestly, the first couple chapters ain't too bad, but it's when you get Ashley Graham, man, that run, it just instantly becomes a little bit harder. I was so close to completing Chapter 9, and of course, I couldn't remember which way to go, and, well, let's just say an enemy hit me, and yeah, I pretty much gotta start Chapter 9 over from where I last saved it, which sucks, but there's a certain weapon I'm trying to unlock, so that's why I'm doing that. So, with the infinite rocket launcher, it makes it a little bit, you know, somewhat easier, but like I said, trying to protect Ashley, oh man, like, that's so, you know, such joyous fun, especially on professional, oh my gosh, like, anyway, alright, that's all I got for you guys for today. I want to thank each and every one of you for stopping by and for your continued support, or if all of you are new, welcome in for the first time. I want to thank each and every one of you, and all of you are very awesome, and don't forget to hit the bell and switch on all notifications so you know the second I upload to YouTube. I am Beak, and I'm gonna go fly away back to my nest. Until next time, bye guys.